Okay, Dr. Tanko, this affects everyone, including yourself. What do you think of what's going on?
Well, first of all, it's very, very important that we make this as a point of note. Every Nigerian should join hands in fighting the issue of corruption in this country. And I believe we are all unanimous in this particular decision. But the truth about it is that in this case, it is not about fighting corruption, as it were, or talking about integrity and the rest of them. It's totally political. Why I said this is this. When you look at the whole Hulabalu Abination, these are issues that have already been in the space for a very long time. But fortunately or unfortunately, the government of the day decided to bring it to the fore just few days to the election, thereby creating a big uncertainty on the nature of the election in 2019. Now, I remember with nostalgia, the president was quoted as saying that by Allah's name, he is not aware that the CJ will be tried. And then certain governor was here in Channels Television, and even the vice president was also quoted in defending the president, saying that Mr. President was not interfering with the institution of governance. And credit was given to Mr. President for not interfering. But within a short period of time, Mr. President again changed again to interfere in the same process of the institution. And that is where the problem is. We need not to interfere with the procedures that is being enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it's clearly stated in section 2301, and then 231 and 2, which clearly give the creation of the judicial system and an arm of government. Now, even when we find any one of our Chief Justices presumed to have been involved in corrupt tendencies, there are procedures as regard to how that individual will be removed from office. Now, and that is democracy, unfortunately. It is not as quick as maybe the way some other people want it, but it has a procedure, and that is what gives in the coloration of democracy. Because until when you follow those particular pillars that constitute democracy, then you will be known to be a Democrat. But where you fall short of respecting the position of the Constitution and following the laid down procedures that have been presented in the Constitution, then you will be undemocratic. And that means that you have no reason to be in any democratic process whatsoever. But that is not to say that probably those who are found guilty or presumed to have been indulged in any kind of corrupt practices should not be dealt with according to the books of the law. So now that's where Nigerians have this particular problem. And I want to quote our revered Archbishop Onnoghen yesterday. There's this perception and then fact that probably the CJ will not do the biddings of the presidents, and so therefore the elections may be twisted in the advantage of the opposition. And that is perception. But the truth is that as captured by Archbishop Onnoghen, who was celebrating his birthday yesterday, may I use this opportunity to say happy birthday to you, sir. And then our revered Sultan, who also said that election is not to be, winning election is not to be given by the court. It's supposed to be in the hands of the people. The people are the people who are supposed to decide who govern them. So we should allow the people to decide and vote for the person that they want to be in power, not to gag them, because the way it is going now, there is this particular sense of fear and antagonism being sent into the air that as long as you are not doing the bidding of the government or any person in power, then you will be gagged, you'll be intimidated, you'll be arrested. And that is where we don't want to run into. I am
Dr. Tanko,
seriously perturbed
Dr. Tanko,
with the way in which we are going about this particular.
Dr. Tanko, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, since you are already delving into these political angles. There are certain precedents that we don't seem to have dealt with. Sometime in the past, we understand that the executive in Kwara State interfered in the judiciary and really pretty much removed the chief judge of the state, and to date we haven't heard much of that. We also remember that at some point in the run-up to one of the elections, when President Jonathan was there, there was a procedure in which the central bank governor was removed in the build-up to the election, and now this. Now, in which way are these issues to be dealt with decisively so we don't have this kind of thing again? Because just as you said, it seems like we're using these things for political expediency.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Now, this will bring me back to this particular narrative being sent into the market space. Now, the Nigerian people are aware that a lot of wrongdoings were done in the past. And so what they wanted was a new lease of life, a departure from the past to a new one, meaning that they don't want the reputation of what has happened in the past. So all of these things that you've mentioned were the things that must have motivated them to vote for Mr. President coming with the change mantra. So when you come with that particular change mantra, you are not expected to come and repeat the same thing that has been done in the past. So they don't want this particular rhetoric being repeated all the time, that there's a 16-year of decay, and so therefore we shift the blame on those particular. No, they want to see something new, a departure from the past, that the Nigerian leaders at the moment now will do what is constitutionally right, what is enshrined in the constitution, and then they will follow the rules and law of order, so that Nigerians will now feel comfortable they have a good leader who is trying to be democratic in nature. And believe me, this is not to interfere with the issue of any corrupt tendencies that might be perpetrated by anybody. With all due respect, we have seen what is happening. When you belong to a political party that is in opposition, you are seen to be a target. Now, the moment you change and become a member of another political party, you now become a lover boy. It is clear, you don't need to be told at the nature, and that sends a lot of wrong signal. And that is why probably the international community, for the first time, are not looking at these issues on the faces of corruption and all. They are looking at it on the faces of the electioneering that is coming up in 2019. We don't need to hit up the politics just because we want to win elections.
So are you saying that it's in order for the international community, are you saying it's in order for international communities, the other countries, to interfere in our internal affairs? Are you saying it's okay for them to
No, not interfering. Not interfering. Here we are, we enjoy their dollars. We enjoy their money that they set into the system to help in correcting our politics. They give money to the system, INEC and all. European Union give a huge lot of money. Please, don't be deceived. When you give people money, you expect them to, at least you have already contributed to the system, so you have a say.